before the first civilization raised its walls from the dust, before the first priest lifted trembling hands toward a sky he couldn't name, two forces existed that made the cosmos itself bend in deference. Not forces of nature, not mere symbols of power, but sovereign wills, divine intelligences, absolute rulers of reality itself. One hurled lightning from the crown of a mountain that pierced the clouds like a spear thrown by the universe. The other rode a vessel of fire across the arch of heaven each day, doing battle in the darkness of the underworld each night, and rising again, unconquered, unbroken, eternal. If you're ready to explore the gods that civilizations tried to erase, subscribe for weekly deep dives into forgotten pantheons. Today we place them across from one another. Today we ask the question that echoes through 3,000 years of myth. If Zeus and Ra were to clash in divine war, which king would remain standing when the storm finally passed? The name itself carries the weight of thunder. Born from the treachery of Cronus, who swallowed his own children rather than surrender dominion, Zeus entered existence as a secret, hidden in a Cretan cave and nursed by a divine goat, while the Titan king devoured his siblings one by one. There is something profound in that origin. The king of Olympus was not born into power. He seized it, clawed it from the stomach of eternity itself, and reshaped the hierarchy of the cosmos in his image. When he finally rose against Cronus, armed with the thunderbolt forged by the Cyclopes, the war that followed shook the foundations of the earth for 10 full years. The sky above cracked like ancient pottery under the weight of divine fury, and when the dust settled, Cronus lay defeated. The Titans were imprisoned in the deepest pit of existence, and Zeus stood alone at the summit of all things. But do not mistake Zeus for a simple warrior. His power was never purely physical. It was cosmic and jurisdictional. He was the keeper of divine law, the arbiter of oaths, the force that maintained the boundary between mortal and immortal. When he spoke from his throne on Mount Olympus, even the other gods fell silent. Poseidon, lord of all oceans, bent his will to Zeus. Apollo, radiant god of prophecy, bowed to him. Ares, the furious embodiment of war itself, feared the Thunder King's judgment. The thunderbolt he wielded was the concentrated authority of heaven itself. When it struck Typhoeus, the most terrifying creature ever born, it incinerated him completely, sealing him beneath Mount Etna for eternity. That is the scale of Zeus. That is what thunder looks like when heaven itself grows wrathful. And yet, and this is the detail that defines him as much as his victories, Zeus was not invulnerable. The myths do not lie. He was deceived by Hera, bound by the giants, temporarily stripped of his tendons by Typhoeus before his eventual triumph. He feared the fates. He feared prophecy. There was a throne, the ancient texts whisper, that could have been taken from him if not for the right intervention at the right moment. This is not weakness, this is complexity. Zeus was the greatest power in the Greek cosmos, But the Greek cosmos acknowledged that even the greatest power operates within limits it did not choose. He was sovereign, but not infinite. Dominant, but not absolute. Remember that truth. It matters when we cross the Mediterranean and enter a world where a god does not merely rule the sky, but conquers death itself every single night, without fail, without rest, since before time had a name. In the theology of ancient Egypt, to speak his name was to speak the act of creation. He was not born into a world that already existed. He called existence into being from the primordial waters of chaos, from the formless void the Egyptians called none, through the sheer force of his divine will. He shaped himself before anything else existed to shape him. He spoke, and light was. He opened his eyes, and the first dawn broke across a cosmos that had never known brightness before. From his tears came humanity. From his presence came order, the sacred principle of Ma'at, the harmony that governed every star, every flood of the Nile, every breath drawn by every living being beneath the Egyptian sky. Where Zeus inherited a cosmos already ancient and wrestled it into submission, Ra authored the cosmos itself. He did not conquer creation. He was its author. But Ra's true power is not revealed in the morning light. It is revealed in what happens after the sun sets. Every evening, the solar bark of Ra descended into the Duat, the Egyptian underworld, a realm of absolute darkness, labyrinthine terror, and monstrous entities that exist only to consume and destroy. And there, in that darkness, Ra faced Apophis, the serpent of chaos, a being of incomprehensible size, a force of pure annihilation that sought every single night to swallow the solar bark whole and plunge the universe into eternal darkness. This was not a battle fought once. This was not a single heroic moment. This was a war renewed every night, without exception, without relief, for as long as the universe had existed. And every dawn, every single dawn, Ra emerged victorious. The sun rose again. Order survived again. Chaos was defeated again. The Egyptians did not merely worship Ra as a powerful god. They worshipped him as the living proof that existence itself could endure. Because he endured, because he never stopped fighting, because even at the threshold of obliteration, the Lord of the eternal sun refused to yield. Which god of mankind tells us more about which deity do you think would emerge victorious? Which is the most powerful deity in all of myth? Tell me in the comments. Your insights add to the discussion. Now let the evidence speak. Zeus commands a thunderbolt that defeated titans, monsters, and gods. Ra commands the force of cosmic creation and has survived an infinite war against chaos itself. Zeus ruled through authority and overwhelming force. Ra ruled through endurance and the irreplaceable necessity of his existence. For without Ra, the sun does not rise, and without the sun, creation collapses. Zeus could destroy, utterly, catastrophically. But Ra could not be permanently defeated without unmaking the universe itself, because he and the cosmos were not merely connected. They were, in the deepest Egyptian theological sense, the same living reality. To kill Ra completely would be to kill the principle of existence. And what does a thunderbolt do against existence? The ancient myths offer us both gods at their most extreme. Zeus at the height of his fury, standing over the ruins of Typhoeus, the greatest monster the world had ever produced, thunder still rolling from his fists. Ra at the depth of his trial, navigating the darkest corridor of the underworld, wounded, beset by serpents, and still commanding the sacred words that would carry him through to morning. Two definitions of what it means to be divine. One built his throne from conquest. The other built his throne from the act of creation itself, and defends it every night against the void that would erase everything he made. The verdict, grounded not in opinion, but in the testimony of the myths themselves, tilts toward Ra, not because he is more violent, not because he commands greater armies, but because his existence is structurally irreplaceable in a way that Zeus's is not. Greece could imagine a world after Zeus. Egypt could not imagine a world after Ra, because such a world would simply cease to be a world. The Sun King does not merely win battles. The Sun King is the reason battles can exist at all. The next Pantheon reveals secrets next week. Stay subscribed. These deities demand to be remembered.